What are you doing in L.A.?
So I got some stuff to do with Fox. You know, I write for them a couple times a week.
All right.
So, yeah, man, I'm boogieing. I'm leaving on Friday, and I'm not coming back till the following Sunday. And I'm going to do my best to do as little work as possible. But I am going to be doing interviews and stuff for Chicken Dinner. And I'm sitting down with Roxy Roxborough, legendary bettor this year. And, you know, the usuals, the Tony Millers, the Chris Andrews, the Ed Salmons, all those guys. So it's become an annual trip, and I thought I'd just tack Delmar on the front of it this time.
What is Bet Bash?
Long story short, Bet Bash is a conference thrown by professional bettor Spanky, who hails from your neck of the woods out in Jersey. And it started as sort of a networking event 2 years ago, and it was out in Atlantic City. Last year, they held Bet Bash 2 at Circa, and now Bet Bash 3 is also at Circa. It's going to be about 600 to 700 people, from what I can gather, from all walks of the sports betting life. You've got pro bettors, you've got rec bettors, bookmakers, odds makers, quants, algorithm people, you know, media people. So it's basically a collision of all different walks of life in the betting space, and it's now a 4-day event at Circa.
Oh, wow.
And on the Friday, they have panels, and there are 3 different panels. One of the panels I'll actually be moderating. It's the Twitter panel, or as Matt Metcalf named it, Can't We All Just Get Along panel, which will be yours truly moderating the following animals: Darren Ravel, Dave Sherapin, Rob Pizzola, Jeff Benson, and Joey Knish. And I don't know how I'm going to keep that thing on the rails.
That sounds like fun. John, you've met Darren Ravel before, right? Pretty good guy?
I met Darren Ravel. He didn't make eye contact with me and, you know, just kind of waved, so it was cool. Seems like a nice guy.
Everyone get out and meet Darren Ravel. He's a little sweetheart.
Can't wait.
Wait. Did you say you met him? He didn't make eye contact, but he waved?
Nah, so like it was one of those where I was at the South Point. It was one of the first years of VSiN's existence, and he was talking with Patrick Everson, who is another sports gambling reporter around town. And Patrick called me over and introduced me, and Ravel didn't even look up, Sam. He kind of just like lifted his hand and just went, hi. And like that was it. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to get out of here.
Yeah, one of those noises.
So, make sure you tell him I said hi, because he does follow me on
I will.
on Z. He does follow me on Z. So,
Is there going to be a sports betting Hall of Fame?
Yeah, that's the big surprise. I don't know how many names I can tell you before somebody puts a gun to my head, but I know that Jackie Gahn is in, who was the father of the first sports book in Las Vegas. So he's going in. Billy Walters is going in, and Spanky and Billy are going to do a one-on-one interview on Friday at the Circa. Lefty Rosenthal is going in. Roxy's going in, and those are 4 pretty big names. I believe the class has 10 people. So the full list will come out, I believe, next week. You can follow Bet Bash on Twitter and Circa on Twitter. But I'm looking forward to it, man, because I take a lot of crap on social media, as you know, and I'm sure a lot of those people will be at Circa.
Yeah!
And I promise you, nobody's going to say a word to my face when they find out I'm 6'2", 225 pounds. Nope.
You're a powerful, menacing figure. You're an intimidating mofo.
I wouldn't go that far. I'm not going that far, but it's easy to talk smack from your basement. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm 5'4", 470 pounds, and no one says anything to my face. So they don't say anything to anyone's face. If you were, I'm sorry, John, I don't know if a media, a radio, TV, even a tout person is going in. I think there should be a place for those people because they helped build sports betting by being out there. Is there someone that comes to the top of your head that you would put in?
No.
Really?
Well, define the word tout. I think there are people that have been pioneers before they became touts.
Yeah, you got stuck on tout. So let's say a gambling media voice.
Dave Koken should be in.
I love that. That was one of them I was going to mention. I also think a really intriguing character, and obviously it's very posthumous, is Jimmy the Greek.
That's another one that obviously paved the way for people to talk about sports betting on nationally televised sports broadcasts. This guy was wedging the point spread in on CBS in the 80s. So, yeah, you have to put him in there. I think eventually Uncle Brent goes in there. Those two, I can tell you, are not on the list this year, but this will, I believe, Spanky's going to try and induct a handful of people. I don't know if you can do 10 every year because then you're going to run out of real estate and probably run out of candidates. But I've seen the list. It's a pretty good class. 10 people going in. I think 5 alive and 5 have left us. And then maybe you go to like 3 or 4 a year after that. But I think look, and I love Dave Koken. I've drank next to Dave Koken. I think he's a great guy, but I think you sort of blur the lines when you start selling picks, and I think a lot of people feel that way. But Dave Koken's is a Hall of Famer before he ever starts selling picks.
So I'm just going to hang out near the sports book during Bet Bash. You want to just come down and hang out when you're done?
Of course.
All right, there you
I
go.
will tell you that they invited me to the after party, but then I had to pay for the after party, which I thought was interesting. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know about that. I like you guys. I don't like you that much.
That's my plan to take advantage. I'm just going to hang out in the bottom floor of Circa, and then whoever just bleeds out when it's all done, I'll be there to network. You know what I mean?
It's a 4-hour after party from 8 p.m. to midnight. What? And my panel is, I think, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's a long time to hang out, if you know what I mean.
Especially at a party where there's going to be a lot of hot chicks, too, I'm sure. All right, I saw you retweet. That was sarcasm. I was quick, but it was sarcasm. I saw you retweet the U.S. women's national soccer team tweet last night. Very celebratory over the draw, and we actually spent about 8 minutes at the beginning of the show really hammering that attitude. It's a weird deal, soccer, when you're trying to bet it, when there's attitudes like that, when there's a draw culture.
First off, the American women's team thinks it's better than it is. That's number one. Number two, that tweet was actually sent with, I want to say, 5 minutes left to go in the match or 10 minutes left to go in the match, and it's nothing, and it's the most boring frickin' soccer game I've watched in a long time. And the U.S. women's national team Twitter account tweets out, "Get loud, we want to hear you from your house." And I'm thinking to myself, nothing moves my meter than 0-0 against the team you should be pasting in group play. And that's the problem here. I mean, the bookmakers, you look across this country, the Americans are no longer favored, and rightfully so. The older players look a step slow. The younger players haven't done jack in 2 matches. The coach is a moron. They're talented enough. They have potential, but dude, you can't score 4 goals in 3 matches. And Vietnam had never played in a World Cup before. You let Vietnam hang around for a half. Portugal is not good. So I will say this: while they haven't been great, the Americans, they better bring that A game or that A- game, because it looks like, assuming Sweden wins tomorrow against Argentina, it's going to be USA-Sweden. And FIFA says that USA women are number 1 in the world, which probably isn't true anymore. Sweden's number 3, buddy. So if you struggled against Vietnam and Portugal and the Netherlands number 10 in the FIFA ranking, you better frickin' bring it against Sweden or you will not advance.
Sam Panayotovich is up on Cofield Company, as he is every Tuesday on ESPN Reno and ESPN Las Vegas. At NESN, are you guys adding more programming? I'm seeing something about Lunchline.
Lunchline is our digital-only show, which is moving to the big screen. It's moving to the TV next Monday. So, we do the digital show on NESN.com every day at 1 o'clock Eastern. That show will now be on TV, so it's sort of a promotion.
Okay. Other big news today in the gambling world, well, at least from a sports gambling source, is Natt Youmans, who used to be part of the ESPN Las Vegas crew. It's always looked forward to his fast food list.
Rankings.
Do we have, you're right, they are rankings, not just a list. Do we have any issues with some of the choices? He's got Culver's 1, Portillo's, fast food, Portillo's 2, Chick-fil-A 3, and so on. Where are you on this list?
I like Freddy's Steak Burgers in the top 5. That's a very underrated place, and I think when I lived there was one right off Silverado Ranch, which I used to go to. It was like Silverado Ranch in Eastern. Does that sound right?
Yep.
It's a very good spot. Very good burger, very good shake. I like Freddy's in the top 5. Youmans does a great job. It's not just about the rankings. It's about the posts that he makes.
Unreal.
You can read his.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. He puts paragraphs together.
Yep.
Yes. He probably spent, what do you think, JVT, like 12 hours on this post?
Oh, I would think maybe. Actually, you know what? I don't think that long, because it just comes easily. Like Shakespeare writing, Hamlet. It just probably just flows. So probably doesn't spend that much time on it, but he does do his research. I mean, the other day we did a hit with him, Sam, and he was in the El Pollo Loco drive-thru. So he is a man who is committed.
He wrote, there was a blurb in there where he was basically saying, look, people have told me it's not healthy, but I didn't get COVID. I work out. I don't go to the doctor. I've been eating fast food for 40 years. Nobody's more qualified than me. And
He's right.
I think that's factual. My big beef, and there's only one, no pun intended, my big beef is that White Castle is 20 spots too low. He's got White Castle at 37, and that's a travesty.
I don't want to.
What? You're not going to crap on your cohort? You don't agree with it?
No, I don't want the powers that be to maybe listen. There might be some advertising opportunities, but I would like
You're always
to say,
thinking about it. He's always thinking about his money,
I would like
Sam.
to say that I agree with Natt Youmans, and maybe I would disagree to the extent that it should be farther down. I'm just saying.
Oh, wow. But you're very careful. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, Matt, I mean, from a passion standpoint, didn't he write a letter to, was it Arby's when they got rid of their pot roast sandwich?
Yes.
Like he was so incensed. Like, who does that? Natt Youmans does.
Handwritten letter.
Handwritten letter.
Natt Youmans is the king of fast food. Cofield, we need to know you're number one. That's all the people care about. Who's number one on your board?
Well, he's got Popeyes at 35. I love Popeyes. And,
number one?
And we have...
Thank you.
We have Bojangles coming. So we were talking about this yesterday because Whataburger's coming to town too. I'm much more a chicken guy than I am a burger guy now. So any place with like awesome, giant chicken sandwiches, I'm down with.
All right. Well, the list does change every year. I noticed the top three have mostly been the same every year, but unless Youmans gets wowed, he's not going to change Old Faithful at the top.
My top three: number 1, Raising Cane's; number 2, Freddy's; number 3, El Pollo Loco.
Ooh.